Hello everyone, today we're here to take a look at two Cambridge Bibles and do a side-by-side review. We are looking at the Cambridge Wide Margin Bibles. Now on the right we have the wide margin in the New American Standard Translation, and on the left we have the wide margin in the English Standard Translation. As always, we're going to take a look at the exterior of these Bibles and work our way through to the interior, and we'll just do a quick rundown of the Bibles and how they stack up against each other, and also highlight some of the key features of both of these Bibles. Now right off the bat we can see that even though these are very similar, both of these Bibles have their own unique characteristics. So we'll start here with the English Standard version of the Bible, and you'll notice that around the perimeter of the cover you'll have this stitching. That's called the perimeter stitching. And this is done because both of these Bibles have what's called edge lining on the inside. So if you open the inside cover, right where I'm running my finger right here, there's about a ½ inch to 1 inch raised reinforcement that is glued to the end page here. And basically what that does is it keeps the Bible durable. It takes a lot more stress on the binding here, and it just helps with the longevity of the Bible. Now, the New American Standard also has the exact same edge lining on the inside. As you can see here, I can feel that with my finger, but this one doesn't have the edge perimeter stitching around the edges. This one just has the stamp. And the reason why they started to stitch these is because of that reinforced binding, sometimes the liner would like to peel away from the rest of the Bible. And so they started to stitch these. Now, I haven't seen that happen with the New American Standard version here, but you'll start to see that a lot of the newer Bibles that are coming out nowadays from Cambridge, if they've got that reinforced binding with the edge lining, they'll start to stitch the perimeter. Another thing that we can see right off the bat that's different is that the English Standard version, if you look at the spine here, or if you look at the end of the Bible, you'll notice that it's rounded. Whereas the New American is more square. And that's really just a design characteristic of both of these Bibles. I don't think it really affects the overall Bible itself in any way, although I will say that I feel that the New American Standard opens a little bit flatter than the English Standard, but of course that could just be the break-in period that we need to be able to get them to lay flat. But that's one difference, is definitely the shape of the end of the Bible here. The other thing you'll notice is that you have two different types of ribbons as far as the color goes. The red with the English Standard, and then the black with the New American Standard. Both of these Bibles have gold imprinting on them. They both say Holy Bible on the cover, and they both have the same type of stamping or the gold lettering on the spine. The Holy Bible, then the translation, then the wide margin, and then of course the Cambridge logo at the bottom. Both of these Bibles come with these tailbands and headbands, and you can see that these are the characteristic Cambridge headbands and tailbands, and they're the red with the gold pattern on them. Now, we also can note that both of these Bibles are printed and bound in the Netherlands. So that's a pretty normal thing for Cambridge to print and bind their Bibles in the Netherlands. There are some of their lines that are printed in the Netherlands but are bound at the United Kingdom Press at Cambridge. But these ones are both printed and bound in the Netherlands. Now let's take a look at the inside here as we open up the Bible. As I mentioned earlier, the New American Standard version doesn't have the perimeter stitching, but on the inside they actually look very similar. So you can see that they both have the polyurethane liner, which is a very soft liner, and it really gives this cover a very soft feel. As you can see, as I just kind of do this, you can see how much it responds. It's just very responsive. And then when you actually go to roll it back, there's almost no resistance. It just rolls, and it's just so smooth, very soft, very, very fluid bindings on these Bibles. The leather is just really good quality. It just feels good. It reacts well when you open it. Just great leather from Cambridge. Both of these Bibles are Smith sewn, which is an important trait, and that should be a give me for any high-end Bible. And both of these Bibles have the same color pattern on the inside. So as we mentioned, the polyurethane liner here, but they both have the black on black, black end pages, black polyurethane liner. Now let's take a look at the inside, and we'll just use the English Standard to start with here. So as you can see, this is a note-taker's Bible. This is why it's called the wide margin. You've got space on both sides of the page, actually all the way around, to leave your notes. This is the double column reference version, so you've got the two columns with the references in the middle. And we should talk a little bit about the margin dimensions, so you know exactly how much space you're getting. So on the outside margins of both of the Bibles, the New American and the English Standard, the dimensions are 1.25 inches across on the outside. On the inside, or in the gutter, you're looking at about 3/4 inch room to write. And then at the bottom here, you get about an inch, a little bit more than an inch. I'd say 1 inch and 1/16 if you want to be specific about how much room you have. So quite a bit of room to write and leave your notes. Now this is an 8.2 font size, and it's in the Lexicon #1 typeface, which is a standard for many Cambridge Bibles. They love that Lexicon #1, and you really can't blame them. It's such a wonderful font, really easy to read that font. And so they went ahead and used the same font in the wide margin. Now, I've mentioned in the Pitt Minion review that I put out that the wide margin is basically the same Bible as the Pitt Minion, only larger. And that's true. So if you've got a Pitt Minion, it's the same basic layout, except for where it's a larger Bible and you have room to write around the perimeter, as well as you get the larger font size. Now, while we're talking about the columns, I do want to make a quick note, and this is me getting very picky, but just so that we have full disclosure here. So both of these Bibles use the same double column format. Both of these Bibles use the same center column references. I actually took a ruler to these two, and there is a very slight difference on how they structure the columns and the references, meaning how wide they are. Now, both of these have the same dimensions on the white space, so that's not going to change. But the English Standard Version, the reference column is about 1/8 inch wider than it is in the New American Standard. So what that means is, while the references column is a bit wider in the English Standard, the actual text column is a bit wider in the New American Standard. So it's just the way that they structure the columns. Like I said, the perimeter is going to be exactly the same. It's just you're going to get that 1/8 inch more width in the English Standard references, and you're going to get about 1/8 inch more in the text for the New American Standard. Really, it's not going to be something you're going to notice unless you have both of these Bibles side by side and a ruler on hand. Then you'll be able to see a slight difference. But it's just eyeballing them, or if you just have one of these in front of you, you're not going to be able to tell. Now, both of these Bibles are red letter, which means that the words of Christ are in red. There is no option for a black letter, to my knowledge, in the New American Standard, but in the English Standard, there is a black letter edition available. Now, the paper on these, I don't have the specific paper GSM ratings for it. But what I can tell you is I've compared it to a few of my other Bibles, and also just kind of feeling the paper and holding it up and seeing what the ghosting looks like. This is very good paper. This paper will take so well to the Pigma Micron pens for note-taking, and unless you're really pressing the pen into the paper, you're not going to get a lot of bleed-through on the other side. But the paper itself, I'm estimating it to be anywhere between 32 and 36, or maybe even 38 GSM. I think 32 is on the low end. I think it's thicker than that. I'd say, to be safe, it's right around 36 to 38. It feels really nice. It's very white, and it just takes really well to pen. Now let's take a quick look at the back of the Bible, and of course, like is standard with many Cambridge Bibles, they throw in a lot of extras at the back, in the back of the Bible. So let's take a quick look at that and see what we've got here. So first of all, you get the Concordance, which is the pretty standard Cambridge Concordance. Very well done. I love the Cambridge Concordance. You've got the Concordance laid out in a multi-column format, and then you've got the bolded word, and then you've got the regular font, regular size for the actual references themselves. You get a pretty hefty concordance in these. A lot of information. This is meant to be a note-taker's Bible and meant to be for study. So they give you quite a big concordance, quite a bit of information. Now, you actually get another cool feature in this, and I'm not entirely sure how to use this feature, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. This is called an index to notes. So what you see here, and I'm going to hold this up so you can take a look at that. The index to notes. So it's got a column there, A, B, C, goes all the way through the rest of the alphabet. And what it is it basically gives you room to write. And again, not entirely sure how you would use this. I guess if you want to lay out some sort of organizational method for your notes, you can write some sort of cross-reference, homemade cross-reference edition in it, to where you can come back here and reference your notes, find out what page you wrote them on or whatnot. So it's kind of cool that they give you that. I haven't experimented with this yet to see how to use it that well, but it's here and it's something that you can definitely play around with. Now, you're also going to get 16 pages of lined paper, very good paper, and it's going to be very useful to continue on with your notes to get this much paper. So again, 16 pages of good lined paper. And also you're going to get some maps, but before the maps you have your map index. Again, this is something that Cambridge likes to do, is to give you the coordinates on the maps that they provide so that you can more easily find the locations. And that leads me right into the actual maps themselves. You get 15 color maps, and these are the Cambridge maps. And what I like about these maps is, again, the color, as I've mentioned in other reviews, is something that I really enjoy, and also the level of detail. But specifically in this Bible, what I like about these maps is that because the footprint of the Bible is so big, the maps are big. And so if I'm going to actually use maps for study, I find myself wanting a bigger map. So I'll actually use these maps because they're so big and they're just really easy to use. But really good maps in these Bibles. Now, these Bibles are, in my opinion, some of the best on the market for note-taking. There are some other Bibles out there that have been marked very well. Most of those Bibles are out of production and you can't really find them. Cambridge continues to produce the wide margin and it continues to be a top seller. I think it's one of the best available right now, if not the best available wide margin on the market. You can buy this Bible in 3 different types of bindings. You can get it in a hardcover in both the New American and the English Standard. You can get it in a French Morocco leather for the New American Standard, and you can get it in a Cabra bonded leather for the English Standard. And then of course you can get both of these in the binding that we've got today, which is the black goatskin. Now, this Bible for me, what I'm going to use this for, obviously for study, obviously for notes, but I'm going to make this Bible into a legacy Bible. So I'm going to be writing different things that I'm praying for. I'm going to be writing notes about just personal things going on in my life as I find a verse that really speaks to the heart and pertains to that. And I'm going to be using this Bible to basically document my prayer life and my life as I go through in my walk with the Lord and in my study. And the hope is that I'm going to be able to take this Bible one day and give it to my daughter. And she'll be able to have all my handwritten notes. She'll be able to see, you know, the weddings I've attended because of the nice presentation pages where you can kind of write down, you know, some of the things that you've, you know, like right here, I'm going to be able to write to her and let her know this is, you know, for her. But, you know, anytime you have a major life event, you can put a funeral down, you can put a wedding down, you can put something you're praying for. That's what I plan on doing with this and leaving it for her so that she has that from me. So if I'm going to do that and leave something like that for my daughter, I want it to be a great Bible all around. I want it to be good quality. I want it to be able to last a long time and something that I'll be able to write in comfortably without, you know, worrying that the paper's not going to last or that the ink is going to bleed through. And that's what you get out of these wide margins. You get that quality Bible from Cambridge. You get all of the attributes of a regular Cambridge Bible, that are just so standard for them, that are just so wonderful from them. But then you also get that wonderful note-taking experience and a Bible that you can be proud of. Now you can buy these Bibles from Cambridge directly, so you could go to cambridge.org/Bibles and you can buy it directly from them, or you can also buy it from evangelicalbible.com. They have a wonderful selection of Cambridge Bibles, and they carry all of the bindings I mentioned before, the hardcover, the Morocco and bonded leathers, and then they also carry, of course, the black goatskin versions. So Evangelical Bible, you'll be able to find both of these Bibles there as well. So I hope this has been helpful for someone in helping you make the selection for that special wide margin that will work for you. If you haven't already done so, please comment any questions below and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless.